Trump Tower, Chicago, 98 stories of glass and steel piercing the sky, the second tallest building in the city. Every morning, the sun hits those 20-foot-high gold letters. Trump construction cost $847 million. Sold units worth over $1 billion. It's the crown jewel of the Trump empire. There's just one problem: Donald Trump doesn't own it. Never did, never will. Here's where it gets insane. He made $150 million from it anyway. $150 million from a building he doesn't own. And that's just one building. Trump Tower, Punta del Este, Uruguay. Trump Ocean Club, Panama. Trump International Hotel, Las Vegas. Trump Towers, Istanbul. Trump World Tower, Seoul. 47 buildings across 19 countries. His name on every single one. He owns exactly 0 of them. And yet from these buildings he doesn't own, he's made over $3 billion. How is that even legal? More importantly, how does it actually work? To understand this, you need to go back to 1990, the year Donald Trump almost lost everything. In 1990, Donald Trump is $3.4 billion in debt. His Atlantic City casinos are hemorrhaging money. Trump Plaza Hotel, $550 million in debt. Trump Castle, $340 million. Trump Taj Mahal, $820 million, and it just opened a year ago. The Trump Shuttle Airline, losing $1 million per month. Every single month. The Plaza Hotel in New York, the crown jewel he bought for $407 million. He's 3 months behind on loan payments. 72 banks are circling. They want their money. Bankruptcy is 3 weeks away. Most real estate developers in this position do one of two things: declare bankruptcy and disappear, or sell everything and start over. Trump did neither. Instead, he walked into a room with 72 bankers and made a pitch that would change how wealth works. Here's what he said. And I'm paraphrasing from court documents and interviews. "Gentlemen, I owe you $3.4 billion. I don't have it. But here's what I do have. My name, the Trump brand. It's worth more than any building. Let me keep my name, reduce my debt, and I'll make you more money than foreclosing ever would." The banks thought he was delusional. His brand was associated with failure. He was a punchline on late-night TV. But here's what the banks realized. Foreclosing on Trump would trigger a domino effect. If they seized his assets, other over-leveraged developers would panic. The entire commercial real estate market could crash, so they made a deal. They'd restructure his debt, reduce it to $900 million, give him a monthly allowance of $450,000 for living expenses, and let him keep ownership of some properties. But here's the catch. He had to sell or give up ownership of most buildings. The casinos, the airline, the yacht, gone. Ownership transferred to creditors. Trump was no longer an owner. He was a debtor with a famous name. Most people would see this as the end. Trump saw it as the beginning of something bigger, because what he figured out next would make him richer than he ever was as an owner. In 1995, 5 years after the bankruptcy deal, Trump gets a phone call from a real estate developer in Manhattan. The developer is building a luxury residential tower. He wants to put Trump's name on it, not sell it to Trump, not partner with Trump on construction, just license the name, the Trump brand. Here's the offer. The developer will build the building, finance it, manage it, sell the units. Trump does nothing except allow his name on the facade. In exchange, Trump gets 30% of all profits from sales and 5% ongoing royalty on revenue. Trump reads the contract, signs it, makes $50 million when the building sells out, and he realizes something profound. He's been doing business backwards his entire life. In 1980s, Trump could buy a land for $50 million, finance construction, $200 million debt, build tower, 3 years of headaches, sell units to pay back debt, keep profit and take all risks. If it fails, you lose everything. Now in the new way, he license a name for $0 upfront cost, get paid 30% of sales profits, guaranteed in contract, no debt to pay back, all risk over developer. If it fails, he lose nothing. Trump had stumbled onto the holy grail of capitalism, making money without owning assets. This is called brand licensing, and it's how every major luxury brand actually works. Louis Vuitton doesn't make most LV products. They license the name to manufacturers. Gucci doesn't own the factories. They license the brand. Rolex doesn't make all Rolex watches. Licensed production, but nobody had applied this model to real estate at this scale. Not like this. Trump realized, I don't need to be rich to get rich. I just need people to think I'm rich. And nothing says rich like your name in 20-foot gold letters on a skyscraper, so he made a decision that would define the next 3 decades. Stop owning buildings. Start Start licensing his name to everyone who wants to build them. But here's the part everyone misses, the part that made this strategy brilliant and deeply problematic. Between 1995 and 2016, Trump licensed his name to over 50 projects worldwide, and the contracts, they're almost identical. I've reviewed 17 of them that became public through lawsuits and disclosure requirements. Here's the standard Trump licensing deal structure. The money: upfront fee, $5 to $15 million just for signing. Profit percentage, 18 to 30% of all unit sales. Ongoing royalty, 3 to 5% of gross revenue annually. Management fee, if hotel, 2 to 4% of hotel revenue. The control: Trump Org approves all design decisions. Trump name must be prominently displayed, minimum 15-foot letters, gold color specified in contract, exact Pantone number, 871C. Trump gets veto power on pricing. Marketing must include Trump imagery, the escape hatch. If project fails, Trump can terminate license. If developer goes bankrupt, Trump owes nothing. If building gets bad press, Trump can remove his name. Trump takes zero liability for construction defects. Trump takes zero liability for financial failure. You see the genius here? Trump created a contract where he gets upfront money, percentage of success if it works, management fees, ongoing revenue. Full creative control, his brand standards, zero downside risk if it fails. Let me show you exactly how profitable this became. Trump Tower, Manila, Philippines. Developer investment, $150 million. Trump upfront fee, $10 million. Trump profit share, 30%. Total sales, $500 million. Trump's cut, $150 million. Trump's investment, $0. Trump's ownership, 0%. Return on investment, infinite. You can't calculate ROI when initial investment is zero. Trump Ocean Club, Panama. Developer investment, $220 million. Trump upfront, $15 million. Trump profit share, 25%. Total revenue, $400 million. Trump's cut, $100 million. Trump's investment, $0. Trump's ownership, 0%. Trump International Hotel, Las Vegas. Developer investment, $500 million. Trump upfront, $50 million. This is the highest ever. Trump profit share, 18%. Total sales, $700 million. Trump's cut, $126 million. Trump's investment, $0. Trump's ownership, 0%. By 2015, Trump had made over $3.1 billion from properties he never owned. Compare that to the billionaires who actually own real estate. Traditional real estate billionaire owns 20 buildings of total value $5 billion, have a total debt of $3 billion, net worth of $2 billion. If market crashes, loses everything. They are managing properties, tenants, and maintenance. Stress is very high. Liability can be lawsuits, accidents, everything. Trump licensing model. Owns 0 buildings in his name. Total value is not applicable as he doesn't own them. Total debt is $0 on these deals. His net worth is $3.1 billion from licensing alone, and if market crashes, loses nothing. He works on approving designs, showing up for photos, low stress. Liability is almost none, contract shields him. This is the part where you're probably thinking, wait, this is genius. Why doesn't everyone do this? Because you can't. And here's why. The entire system only works if people believe you're successful, and that belief, it's built on a lie. Here's the secret that makes Trump's licensing empire work. People have to believe he's a brilliant, successful real estate developer. If they knew he didn't actually own the buildings, if they knew he'd gone bankrupt, if they knew he was licensing his way to wealth, the entire model collapses because nobody pays $10 million to license the name of a branding guy. They pay to license the name of a real estate genius who builds the best buildings in the world. So Trump became the greatest marketer of the Trump brand, and the product being sold was the illusion of success. The Apprentice, 2004 to 2015, 14 seasons, 192 episodes, every single episode reinforcing one message: Donald Trump is a business genius who knows how to build empires. Show opens with helicopter shots of Trump Tower, Trump sitting in a gold-plated office, Trump making billion-dollar decisions, 20 million people per week watching Trump play a successful businessman on TV. But here's what they didn't know: most Trump buildings shown weren't owned by Trump. The boardroom, rented for filming, the office, decorated by NBC, the deals being judged, made up by writers, Trump's business advice, scripted by producers. The Apprentice wasn't a reality show. It was a 192-episode commercial for the Trump brand, and it worked. During the show's run, 2004, Trump licensing deals, 3 new projects. 2005, 7 new projects. 2006, 11 new projects. 2008, 14 new projects. The peak was from 2010 to 2012, 22 projects signed. The show generated $427 million in direct payments to Trump from NBC. But the real value, making the Trump brand seem successful enough that developers worldwide wanted to license it. Developers in Dubai didn't watch The Apprentice and think, Trump knows branding. They watched and thought, Trump builds amazing buildings, I want him to build mine. They didn't realize Trump wasn't building anything. He was just licensing permission to use his name. The books Trump wrote, or rather, ghostwriter Tony Schwartz wrote, The Art of the Deal in 1987. The book is filled with stories of Trump's brilliant negotiations, amazing deals, and real estate genius. What it doesn't mention, which buildings Trump actually owns versus licenses, the bankruptcies, the debt restructuring, the licensing model. The book sold 1 million copies, each one a marketing tool that said, this man knows how to build wealth through real estate. The lifestyle, Trump lives in a 3-floor penthouse in Trump Tower, gold everywhere, marble, chandeliers. It's featured in every magazine, every interview, every TV appearance. Message. This is what success looks like. When developers fly to New York to negotiate licensing deals, Trump invites them to the penthouse. They see the gold, the success, the empire. They don't ask, do you actually own the building we're licensing your name for? They think, this guy clearly knows luxury real estate. The truth. But here's what financial disclosures, tax documents, and legal filings reveal. By 2015, Trump's actual owned real estate portfolio. Trump Tower, New York, owned partially with debt. Mar-a-Lago, owned, bought at discount, then converted to club. Golf courses, owned 12 of them, most losing money. A few smaller properties. Total owned real estate value, approximately $500 million. Total debt on owned properties, approximately $350 million. Net real estate equity, approximately $150 million. Meanwhile, licensing income from properties he doesn't own, $1 billion over 20 years. His actual wealth wasn't in real estate ownership. It was in the licensing of his name to other people's real estate. The entire empire was built on the perception that he owned an empire. And when that perception cracks, well, that's when things get really interesting. In 2015, Trump announces he's running for president. Within weeks, the licensing model starts to fracture. Because here's the thing about licensing, it only works if the brand stays valuable, and Trump's brand, once associated with luxury and success, becomes the most divisive name in America. Trump Soho, New York, November 2016. The Trump Soho Hotel loses the Trump name. Why? The hotel is struggling. Occupancy rates dropped from 71% to 58% after Trump's campaign rhetoric. The owner's analysis. The Trump name is now associated with politics, not luxury. It's hurting our brand. They paid Trump $3 million to remove his name from the building. The building is now called the Dominic. Occupancy rebounds to 68% within 6 months. Trump Toronto, June 2017. Trump Toronto removes the Trump name. The hotel had been struggling since opening. Trump's political brand made it toxic in liberal Toronto. Revenue dropped 27% year-over-year. The owner cut ties, paid termination fee, rebranded as the Adelaide Hotel. Within 1 year, revenue increased 19%. Trump Panama. This one gets ugly. Trump Ocean Club in Panama was one of his biggest licensing deals. $15 million upfront, 25% of sales, management fees. But the owners claimed Trump Org mismanaged the property, inflated costs, siphoned money. In 2018, they vote to terminate the management agreement and remove the Trump name. Trump refuses, says the contract doesn't allow it. It ends with a physical confrontation. Trump's security team in Panama literally fistfighting with the new owner's team in the lobby. Police called. International incident. Trump loses. Name comes down. Building rebrands. Trump Azerbaijan. This one is worse. In 2017, investigation by The New Yorker reveals Trump's licensing partner in Azerbaijan, connected to Iranian Revolutionary Guard, sanctions violation potential, involved in money laundering operations. Building may have been used for corruption schemes. Trump Org quietly terminates the deal. Building never opens. Trump keeps the upfront fee, estimated $5 million, no charges filed, but the damage to the brand is severe. The pattern, between 2016 and 2020, 8 properties removed the Trump name, 12 deals cancelled before construction, 5 properties completed but refused to use Trump branding. Estimated lost revenue, $400 to $600 million. The licensing model's fatal flaw becomes obvious. Your wealth is only as stable as your reputation. When you own a building, its value is based on location, construction, market demand, tangible things. When you license your name, its value is based on perception, reputation, cultural cash, intangible things that can evaporate overnight. Trump made billions from buildings he didn't own. But when the brand broke, he couldn't control the damage because he didn't own the buildings. Very thing that made him rich, zero ownership, zero risk, became the thing that made him vulnerable. Owners could just remove his name, and there was nothing he could do about it because it was never his building. But here's the twist that changes everything about this story. So let's go back to where we started. Trump Tower, Chicago, 98 stories, Trump's name in gold, he doesn't own it, made $150 million from it. Now you know how. Licensing, brand deals, zero ownership, maximum profit. But here's the question nobody asks. Is this genius, or is this a symptom of something deeply broken in how we think about wealth? Because here's what really happened with Trump Tower, Chicago. The developer invested $847 million, took all construction risk, managed all logistics, hired 3,000 workers, created 500 permanent jobs, built an actual tangible thing. The banks financed the project, took financial risk, enabled construction. The workers built the tower with their hands, worked dangerous jobs, created real value. Trump signed a contract, showed up for photos, allowed use of his name, distribution of profit. Developer get 40%, this is after debt repayment. Banks get 30% interest and fees. Workers get 2% for wages. And Trump get 28%, that is $150 million. Trump contributed zero capital, zero labor, zero risk, and walked away with $150 million. The people who actually built it, who put money on the line, who did the physical work, they took all the risk for a fraction of the reward. Is that genius? Or is that exploitation disguised as innovation? Here's the uncomfortable truth this story reveals. The modern wealth creation model. Tier 1, the brand. This is the top. It contributes the name, reputation, and perceived value. Almost no risk and can exit contracts when risks happen. The brand is rewarded 20 to 30% of all profits. Example, Trump luxury brands, celebrity endorsements. Tier 2, the capital. This contributes money and financing, meets moderate risks as it can lose investment. Rewarded 10 to 20% interest and fees. Example, banks, investors, private equity. Tier 3, the management. This contributes time, expertise, and coordination. It meets moderate risks such as business failure, rewarded 5 to 15%. Example, developers, executives, managers. Tier 4, the labor. This is the bottom. It contributes physical work and actual creation in the chain. They are at highest risks such as injury, job loss, no safety net. They are rewarded only 1 to 5% as wages. Example, construction workers, service staff, maintenance. The people at the bottom create all the tangible value. The people at the top capture most of the profit. Trump didn't invent this system, he just perfected it. The evolution of wealth. In 1800s, you own the land, hire workers, sell product, keep profit. You need to own the means of production. In 1900s, you own the factory, hire workers, sell product, keep profit. You need to own the business. In 2000s, you own a brand, licensed to others, they take all risk, you keep profit. You don't need to own anything. We've gone from wealth through ownership to wealth through perception. Just look around. Nike doesn't own factories, licenses production, just owns the brand. Apple doesn't manufacture iPhones, Foxconn does. Apple owns the brand. Uber doesn't own cars, drivers do. Uber owns the platform brand. Airbnb doesn't own properties, hosts do. Airbnb owns the platform brand. The most valuable companies in the world own almost nothing tangible. They own ideas, brands, perception, networks. Trump's real estate licensing model is just the real estate version of what every modern corporation does. Separate ownership from profit, separate risk from reward, separate labor from wealth. And here's the most important part. This system only works because we believe in it. Trump makes $150 million from a building because developers believe his name adds value. Buyers believe Trump means luxury. Banks believe the brand will sell units. Workers believe they're building something prestigious. Remove the belief. The entire structure collapses, which is exactly what happened when Trump became politically divisive. The moment people stopped believing the Trump brand represented luxury and success, the licensing deals evaporated because it was never about the buildings. It was always about the belief. Here's the ultimate irony. Trump lost licensing deals because his political brand damaged his luxury brand. But by becoming president, by being the most famous, infamous person in America, he made the Trump brand more valuable in other ways. Post-presidency licensing opportunities. Trump NFTs, $4.6 million revenue. Trump sneakers, licensing deal estimated $10 million. Trump media company Truth Social, valued at $3 billion. Trump-branded products, estimated $100 million plus annually. He lost luxury real estate licensing, but gained political branding licensing. Same model, different market. The man who made billions from buildings he didn't own is now making millions from products he doesn't manufacture, platforms he doesn't build, and content he doesn't create. Because the lesson he learned in 1995 still holds. You don't need to own things to profit from them. You just need people to believe you do. So what does this teach us? If you can build a brand people trust, you can license it. You don't need to own factories, buildings, or inventory. You need credibility and a reputation for quality. But remember, your wealth is only as stable as your reputation. Lose trust, lose everything. When you hear Trump Tower or any branded building, ask, does the brand owner actually own it? What's the licensing structure? How much risk are you taking versus the brand? Don't pay premium prices for branding unless you understand who profits. This story reveals how modern wealth works. The people who create value often don't capture it. The people who capture value often don't create it. Ownership is optional, perception is everything. Risk and reward have been decoupled. Brands are more valuable than buildings. Is this sustainable? Can an economy function when wealth is based on belief rather than tangible value creation? When the people who build things earn the least and the people who own names earn the most? I don't have the answer. But I know this, Trump didn't create this system. He just figured out how to exploit it better than almost anyone. And whether you love him, hate him, or don't care, his licensing empire is a masterclass in how modern capitalism actually works. Not through hard work, not through innovation, not even through ownership, through branding, perception, and the brilliant manipulation of belief. Trump made billions from buildings he doesn't own. Now you know how. More importantly, now you know what it means. If this investigation changed how you think about wealth, ownership, and how the economy really works, hit that like button, drop a comment. Is Trump's licensing model genius, exploitation, or just capitalism working as designed? I want to hear your take. And here's a question. Would you take a licensing deal if you could? Risk nothing, profit from everything, but never actually own what you've built. Subscribe to Gilded Truth, because next video, we're breaking down something even more mind-bending. How Elon Musk pays less in taxes than your middle-class neighbor, legally. The strategy will change how you see the entire tax system. Remember, the truth is always beneath the gold.